overthinking what you did. So yesterday I was listening to one of my coach's modules, and one one person was asking my coach, saying, "What if you've done something and you cannot stop thinking about what you've done afterwards?" Like for example, um, you're talking to a friend and maybe you said something and then your friend got mad at you, and at night you keep thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said this, I should have said that, etc. Or maybe you're at a job, um, you you did something, but your you thought it was a good idea, but then your boss was telling you that it wasn't, and then blew up at you, and you can't stop thinking about what you have done, um, thinking about what you shouldn't have done, etc. So she said, so what do you do during those times? And this is what he said. He said, when you tell someone to stop thinking about it, it doesn't really work, because what happens is this analysis is actually coming from love. It's a protective mechanism. So if you say be kind to yourself or don't think about it, it's either dismissing it or it's just not going to work. Like, so what he said, you have to kind of dive into to what you're thinking about, and analyze the thoughts. And this was the thing that was very profound for me. He said, if you analyze all these thoughts, it will come to either one of the two categories. One is, I shouldn't have done this, this is hurtful to the other person, and I don't want to get hurt. And so this is coming from the brain, because the brain's job is to protect you. It doesn't want you to get hurt, it wants to protect you, and it just wants to make sure you stay out of trouble. So the voice that keeps looping is to make sure that you are safe, that you don't get hurt. Versus the others on the other side, it's coming from the heart. What does the heart say? The heart says, oh, if I have done this, I would have be given an opportunity, I would have a better connection with the other person, or things like that. So it's coming from potential regret of having the expansion. So when you're able to break down the sentences that are coming from your head and be able to decipher these two things, then then you can kind of talk, have a conversation back to this voice to say, hey, I see you, I'm so sorry that it happened, and thank you so much for protecting me, and then let's learn from this lesson, and then we can kind of subside this voice. Or saying to the heart, yeah, we should have done that, and at the same time something must be hindering us, and let's look into more to see how else we can expand. So this is a way of having a conversation with yourself. So instead of having that conversation looping over and over again inside your mind, this is how you can break it down to the two things. And I thought that was very powerful, because a lot of times I was like, it happens to me too, where I'm thinking, oh, why aren't you doing this, or why did you do that? And a lot of it is just like going on, and I couldn't shut it off. So when I'm able to nip it down to deciphering whether it is from potentially getting hurt, and it's the safety from the head, or an opportunity to expand because my heart doesn't want me to regret the next thing, then I can talk, have a kinder words toward myself to say, hey, how can we learn from this opportunity, and how can we go about doing this? So it breaks the loop, and then so we can move on. Um, and also, the other thing that he was talking about is this: whatever that you have said or you have done, it is the best thing that happened to you at the moment. Best thing, as in, it might not have stopped you from making the mistake, but at the same time, it's whatever your body feels is the best thing that you could have performed at that moment. And so sometimes, if let's say we're in conversation and we say something or we didn't say something and we kind of beat ourselves up over it, for example, then we can say, if it needs to be said at that moment, I would have said it. And I think that comes with the giving us the grace that we are not holding ourselves so tightly and rigidly at the moment. Because sometimes, you know what, when we sometimes are in conversation with someone, they might have said something to hurt us, or they might have made a comment that make us kind of like ask us a question and our body goes tense. And sometimes people will say, well, I should have said this, like thinking about afterwards. But this is what I tell them: like, if your body doesn't feel safe in the moment to say something about it, then it's not going, like, you just cannot literally get those words out of your mouth. And we have to give ourselves that grace to say, hey, what is actually going on, so we can learn more about ourselves, so we can take this as a lesson to heal our body, to expand our mind, and so we can use this next step for our next set of conversation. That's all I have to share for today. I would love, if there's any aha moments, I would love for you to share with me what you got out of it. And that's all I have to say. Until next time.